What's up, guys? Welcome back to Ski Relax. So haven't done this in a while. Little update on farm use. As you can see, I just got the Jeep and the X3. Some people thought I sold farm use when I bought that. I didn't. All right, so farm use. A lot has changed. Last update I did was when we did the frame rails, 250 wall frame rails with the CA Tech welding gusset. Well, now, and the bump stops. That was back in BMR. All that's holding up good. Now, we didn't do a 250 wall motor mount, and I don't think it's going to show really. And it's a mess down there because we've had the stator cover off twice. But I bent the motor mount, so the motor mount's actually sitting a little bit too high right now. Just simply don't feel like cutting it all up and fixing it right now. Drive shaft's touching the plastic right there. Just wearing some paint off, but it'll be fine. Everything's good. Everything's the same as it has been. You know, we got the Can-Am Crew smart spool in there, and that has been holding on great. I'm very happy with this differential. Coming from a Halo to this, it's a learning curve to drive it again. You know, it does not turn very good as far as like turning radius, but as you can see, we got something going on in here. That is not a Can-Am steering rack. So I know Brian wanted a video on installing this kit, the hydraulic steering kit. I didn't make one, but literally I could show you guys everything. So we'll just start in the front. So as you can see, you got the hydraulic ram over there. You have to cut your factory steering rack mount off, but you leave these little triangulated tabs and then weld his gusset on there, or weld his plate. Was not a big deal. Did it with a cut off wheel and a grinder. Literally took Kyle like 5 seconds, 5 minutes, including welding. Really nice. You know, it's just a hydraulic ram, and you got this flag guide. I forget what the exact terminology for that was, but it's basically a flag guide. It just holds the flag from going like this, just like how the original steering rack braces work. Because when you get your wheels that have play in them and everything's tight, your rack is literally going like this on these stock Can-Ams. So the hydraulic ram will do the same thing. So that's why it has that. And that just mounts right up to the back of your A-arm bolts. Comes with his own tie rod ends with misalignment spacers, just like pretty much run-of-the-mill tie rods will come with. But you know, these got really nice heim joints on each end. So that's pretty much it for the hydraulic ram and everything. Now back to the steering column. Orbital valve. You have no steering shaft at all going through. You guys probably already caught that, but I know mine's modified, so it's not that obvious. So you got an orbital valve. You have 2 hoses. I believe this hose and this hose goes to the ram, and then these 2 upper ones go to and from the pump, or from the pump to the reservoir. So that's that. And then you come all the way back here. I have my hydraulic hoses ran up on top of that tray. It has like a mid-level tray. And the hydraulic hoses come out here, come down, and they come around. See that yellow one goes to the pump, and then the other one actually goes up right there into the reservoir. And I got a reservoir mounted right there. So, and then the most important thing is, how's it driven? Well, it's belt driven. You know, you got a pump there, got a trail gear, power steering pulley, and he gives you a machined cover that has a little stub shaft that comes, it screws into the crank bolt, You take the crank bolt out, you screw this little stub in there, and then you put your cover back on that he supplies, and it has like a little O-ring and everything like that, and then that's what drives that. I actually had an issue at crossbar. So this is a used kit. I tried to save some money. It bit me in the long run. I should have just bought a brand new kit. This pulley, the old one, was pretty messed up. I actually have it. There it is. Okay, so the pulley actually ended up eating itself alive in there, and when it did that, it actually moved in. We thought the bolt came loose, and I Loctited it and everything. Thought the bolt came out, and it didn't. You know, I tightened the bolt, and I'm like, well, if it didn't come out, why did it tighten? Well, turns out it started spinning on that shaft. So ate up the shaft a little bit, ate up the pulley, and then the pulley ended up making contact with the cover. Luckily, he puts like a little, it's basically a little piece of aluminum that bolts on to the cover, and I think he just did that for a bearing surface like mount. But either which way, it's good he did that, because this ended up locking up on the clutch cover, and that's what ended up eating this. Also, this pulley is well used, and you can see that groove right there. That wasn't no good. So I literally just put a new stub shaft coming out of the motor, which I had to take the stator cover off again, but put a new pulley on there. I just put the belt on there. It's brand new. I started it up and made sure it worked correctly, but other than that, that's farm use right now, guys. I have more stuff going on it. So the guy I got the steering system from, deal was I had to buy his RCV driveline to get it for the deal I was getting it. So I got an RCV drive shaft that's going to go in this. I'm just limited on time, really, to be honest with you guys. I just don't have enough time to put the drive shaft in. I wish I had the drive shaft ready to go when I did the hydro kit, because I had it all apart, but it ain't no big deal. So anyway, enough rambling. What's it like? It's amazing. I mean, I have well, you can see it from here, I have hydraulic assist on the Jeep, and that's nice. It's really nice, but this is nicer. The only negative thing about it, which Ross has a fix for it, and I am, despite how my machine looks, you know, with grease and stuff everywhere, I'm not great about cleaning it like up the spick and span, because literally every time I take it out, I just beat the crap out of it. But I am very anal about stupid things that some people may not care about, like your steering wheel being crooked. I don't like that. Ross has a fix for that. It's expensive, and I just don't want to spend the money right now, so I deal with it. But this wheel is just all over the place. Like, for the most part, as long as you're not going lock from lock, it'll stay relatively center pretty well. But when you start going lock to lock and doing all kinds of stuff, sometimes, you know, sometimes this wheel will be pointed over here or over here, like this line will be over there, you know, and you'll be on straight. So that's the biggest thing I'm trying to learn. Also, I feel like it turns faster, but after talking to Ross, he's like, no, that is the original ratio. He's like, it's not a quickener, it's not quicker. It's just, it takes so much less effort to turn that it feels like it's a lot faster. I was like, oh, okay. You know, because when I went up that Schmidt Happens hill or something like that, Schmidt something, Schmidt, I think that's what it was. I had no idea what way my wheels are turned, and that's why you see my wheels turned all the way, and then straight, and then all the way, because I just, in the heat of the moment, I couldn't keep track of where my wheels were going, and my wheels all over the place. So I'm getting a little more used to it. Took it out last night, and had a nice ride, just trail ride. I didn't do anything serious. I think we only tapped the skip plate one time, so that tells you right there, like, that's an easier ride for me. But anyway, enough rambling. I already said that. So how is it steering? Well, I'll show you. All right, so we got the steering wheel on. I'm actually going to stop the video and zoom out. All right, we got the steering wheel on. Now, one finger, full lock, full lock. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. You got a strong finger, right? Can you do that at 37s or 35s or even 32s? I know I can't. So that shows you right there how easy that is. And you know, no, it didn't even hurt to do that. Like, I could drive the machine without the steering wheel now, which is absolutely insane. It's crazy. So yeah, really like it. And I think it's one of the best upgrades you could do. It's very expensive, very, but once you do it, every time you drive it, you'll be so happy. Every time you hit a ledge, you can literally rip the wheel off. I mean, Drew's done it many times. He just rips that wheel completely off, has no idea. And he's like, yeah, it didn't even hurt. Saves your wrist. You want a broken wrist? Like, if you're gonna ride hard, this is the way I look at it. Do you want a broken wrist from riding hard, or do you just want to not hurt your body? I mean, that right there sold me on this kit. So that's it. That is the Ross Pilgreen hydraulic steering kit, natural state racecraft. Like I said, I bought this kit used, so I have not gotten any discounts. Anybody could have bought it for the price I bought it for, and with all the upgrades and replacement parts and all that, I haven't got any discounts. So I'm definitely not paid to say anything, and he does not want to pay anybody to say anything. So awesome products. Before I buy Haspil aluminum hubs and all this stuff that I want to get, because I'm sick of these hubs right here in particular. I've had pretty good luck with the front ones, but the back hubs, I'm tired of them with the stupid radial joints. I'm so sick of it. Like, why is it not just solid mounted? I don't understand. But you know, I guess your alignment, I don't know, it sucks. You know, like, I already broke this radial joint. I already know that one's broke because when I put this axle in, I noticed it was not right, and then I backed into a rock literally yesterday, like bumped into it. I heard a big pop, and I know it's the radial joint again. And these trailing arms, you can't see them, but yeah, he's got fixes for all kinds of stuff like that. Ross does. So I think we're going to be working with him more in the future and getting some products that literally are going to be game-changing, problem-solving, instead of flashy, but still may have problems, the same problems that you're trying to avoid. But yeah. So when you do this hydraulic kit, he recommends you get 28-inch limit straps. That's what it says in the instructions. And I didn't have 28-inch limit straps. All I had was the factory CA, or not factory, the CA Tech ones is what I've been running. Well, I noticed riding with Kyle when he's got his tube chassis done that he's climbing hills that I can't. And I'm like, I've never really had this problem. I never had my machine not be able to climb something that somebody else did. So me and him were talking, and this was actually out in Utah before I even got hydraulic steering. And we were talking, and he was like, you need to put shorter limit straps on your machine. And I was like, yeah, you think that's it? And he goes, yeah. So he ended up having these 30-inch long Super ATV limit straps. I put them on there, and I only have probably 4 inches of down travel right now, the way it is. But man, is it a game changer. This machine climbs again. Like, this thing will go up stuff that I don't think it will. All right, so that's a quick overview of farm use. There's still more to come. Actually waiting in the mail right now. Can-Am Cruise Smart Spool rear axle differential. These are rear axle, OEM rear axles in the front. These are the only axles that will survive a whole weekend. When I went to Adventure Off-Road Park with Drew, I had these axles in them. This one popped really loud, with good reason. It should have broke, but it just popped. It's pulling. It's great. It don't even click. And it's good to go. Now, these axles, I don't have anything good to say about them. It'll survive there for about a couple months. That's about it. It will not survive in the front. I'll give that axle 3 hours if we're actually like hitting hard stuff. 3 hours, that'll break in the front. Rhino 2.0, give me 5 hours, it'll break in the front. The Super ATV rear axle shafts in the front of a Can-Am are not worth running, in my opinion. I know it's gonna sound stupid. You don't have a warranty, they're more expensive. If you're running a Can-Am Smart Spool, run OEM Can-Am axles from the rear in the front. Trust me. If you don't want to buy the big boys, which I did, fortunately, again, had to pay out all that money, but great companies, so they're well worth it. You want to run OEM rear axles in the front. So what am I running? Well, I am taking these Phoenixes out. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to sell them for less than what they cost because they're, well, 2 of them brand new. This one in here is getting sold. If anybody wants them, if you're just trail riding, you're not landing on wide open stuff, they'll do you well. I do. So I got some axles for sale. Anybody needs any? I got King Cobras coming for the front. They are a new style that is specifically for that differential in the orientation it's in the front of the machine. Really excited working with them guys from here on those. Also working with Turner Eagle, well, Turner Cycles actually, not Turner Eagle. And we got a set. I just got them in the mail yesterday, and just don't have the time to put them in right now, unfortunately. But Turner Nitro XB. I really don't know how to explain to you guys the size difference, but I'm gonna try to right now. That is a Rhino rear axle. Okay, Phoenix rear axle, same size. Okay, here is a OEM Can-Am axle. Look how much bigger that is. The OEM axles are way stronger than anything aftermarket from Super ATV. Now, my Jeep, this is a Dana 44. That's a RCV, Dana 44 RCV. That's the size of the rear axle, pretty much, that is going in the back of farm use. That's crazy. So, run Turner Eagles in the back, King Cobras in the front, RCV driveline from here on. A lot of people had problems with the bolts backing out, things like that. I got the new style bolts with a keyway and a lock ring, so the bolts can't back out. The only reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to get away from Super ATV driveline, which is what's in there now. And you can't really see it. It's getting dark out here. Super ATV driveline's been in my machine most of its life. That U-joint, when that U-joint breaks, it will literally smack those ears together, and then that yoke on that diff explodes. And Super ATV won't sell you a yoke, so you have to buy a whole little short shaft right here, $250. I'm not buying another one. I have 2 short shafts. I have a good one, I have that one, and I have this long shaft. And then I have a complete OEM driveline. And now I got an RCV. So I'm throwing the RCV in. I'm going to have these Super ATVs as spares. Or if somebody ever needs one, I'll sell them. Obviously less than what they cost. The Super ATV carrier bearing, I hate that thing. I never liked it. It's out of here. We're going back with an OEM carrier bearing with the RCV shaft. And yeah, if anybody ever needs a driveline for a cam, let me know, because I have them. You know, if you see me on the trail, I'll sell it. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. That's pretty much update of farm use. I don't think there's anything else really. Yeah, that's about it. So see you guys on the trail. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Appreciate you guys to have. And we got some rides coming up, RBD. Here we go.